For centuries, knowledge has been hidden in plain sight across the sands of time. Whispers of lost civilizations, cryptic symbols, and forbidden histories have been erased or concealed. What if the truth was never lost, but hidden? Welcome to Eye of Ancient Mysteries, where the past speaks and the future listens. Sit back, open your mind, and prepare to uncover the untold secrets of our world. Let the journey begin now. Distortions. The apostles were jealous of Mary Magdalene on July 22. The Church commemorates Saint Mary Magdalene, a woman healed of 7 demons, a devoted follower of Christ, and the first to witness his resurrection. The life of Mary Magdalene. Mary Magdalene, or Magdalene, was from Magdala, a town in Galilee situated along the shore of the Sea of Gennesaret. Jesus Christ healed her of a severe affliction, referred to in the Gospel as 7 demons, during his ministry in Galilee. She approached him, told him her story, and asked to follow him. From that moment on, Mary Magdalene stayed close to Jesus, assisted him in interacting with people, and followed him with a passion greater than that of even the apostles. For this reason, she is referred to as equal to the apostles. When Jesus was captured and crucified, Mary and the Virgin Mary remained by the cross. After his death, Mary took on a central role in the events that followed. Along with other women bearing myrrh, she went on Sunday to anoint Christ's body. Mary arrived first and found the stone rolled away and the tomb empty, with only the burial cloths remaining. Angels and then Christ himself appeared to her, saying, "Do not hold on to me, for I have not yet ascended to the Father." She ran to inform the apostles, and John and Peter returned with her. All acknowledged that Christ's body was gone. He later appeared to his disciples and confirmed his resurrection for the salvation of all mankind. Mary Magdalene later settled in Ephesus, where she assisted Saint John the theologian in his ministry and passionately preached the Word of God until her death, after which her story was left to be reimagined by popes, artists, and writers. The apocryphal Gospel of Mary. It wasn't until the early 2nd century, nearly 90 years after Christ's death, that Mary Magdalene reappeared in a text known as the Gospel of Mary, discovered in Cairo in 1896. In this account, she is portrayed as the leader of the followers of Jesus. In the days after his resurrection, Mary is shown to be calm and composed after Christ's death. Do not weep, do not despair, and do not let doubt enter your hearts, she tells the others. His power will be with you and will protect you. She claims that Christ appeared to her and revealed the soul's journey through mystical realms. What has been hidden from you, I will reveal, she says. Her words deeply impact the others, especially the Apostle Peter, who reacts sharply. Did he really speak with a woman in private and not tell us? Should we all now listen to her? Does he prefer her over us? A threat to the patriarchy, these questions shake Christianity, as the Gospel of Mary describes her not only as an equal to the apostles, but as their superior. The apostle to the apostles. A woman, therefore, becomes a threat. Scholars argue that the apostles may have downplayed her role in the canonical texts out of jealousy. Alongside her, the role of women in the biblical narrative was also marginalized, aligning with the desire of early church leaders to establish a patriarchal hierarchy. Today, mainstream Christian denominations acknowledge Mary Magdalene's importance, but usually portray her as subordinate to the male apostles. Dan Brown's influence in the Da Vinci Code, author Dan Brown gives Mary a revolutionary new role, the wife of Christ and mother of his child, whom she raises alone. This is, of course, a fictional narrative, but the story of Mary Magdalene and Christ continues to fascinate, evolving with each era's values and perspectives. One thing remains clear: she has always been an inconvenient figure. Despite being mentioned 13 times in the New Testament, very little concrete information is provided about her life. Was that a coincidence? Patriarchal society. In Roman society, women were considered unreliable. Mary's name itself is telling. She is known not by a husband's name, as was customary, but by her hometown, Magdala. No husband is ever mentioned, which may explain why she was free to follow Jesus. We don't know what she did for a living, whether she was young or old, plain or beautiful. In the Gospel of Thomas, she and another woman, Salome, are named as 2 of Christ's 6 true disciples, not 12. In the Gospel of Mary, she is described as strong and wise, a disciple Christ loved more than all other women. Both Mary and Jesus are depicted as seeing gender as irrelevant in the afterlife. The curse of the prostitute. In 591 AD, Pope Gregory I was the first to label Mary Magdalene a prostitute, conflating her with the unnamed sinful woman in Luke's Gospel. Despite her many virtues, healing, aiding childbirth, charity, the image of a repentant prostitute has clung to her. During the Middle Ages, Magdalene became the patron saint of prostitutes, and brothels were even called Magdalene houses. In the 18th century, during Pope Paul V's pontificate, 1963-1978, the Vatican quietly revised the Latin translation of Luke's Gospel. It tells of an unnamed woman who washes Jesus' feet with her tears, dries them with her hair, and is forgiven by him. Still, the association with prostitution persisted. Interpretations and questions. Why must the woman who was the first to witness the resurrection, and to whom Christ first appeared, be remembered in this way? 2,000 years of interpretation suggest that many simply accepted it, even though there's no solid proof. Readers of the Bible, and those who shape its teachings, have had a strong hand in how her story has been framed. Some believe she was not just a follower, but Christ's wife. Harvard professor Karen King claims to have found a papyrus fragment in which Jesus refers to "my wife." Mixed identities. Pope Gregory the Great also confused Mary Magdalene with Mary of Bethany, sister of Lazarus, attributing the sin of adultery to her. The error stuck. Similarly, 16th century writer Robert Southwell confused Mary Magdalene's tears at Jesus' burial with the mourning of Mary of Bethany over Lazarus. Stereotypes. In medieval Europe, only 2 female archetypes were permitted: the saint and the sinner. The Virgin Mary was the ideal of goodness, while Mary Magdalene had to embody the fallen woman. Women were believed to sin more easily than men. If Mary the Virgin was the embodiment of purity, Magdalene had to balance the scales as the reformed sinner. Yet even in this role, she offered a message of redemption. If a prostitute could be saved and follow Christ, then anyone could. The resurrection and the emperor. According to legend, Mary Magdalene traveled to Rome with Lazarus's sisters, Martha and Mary. There, she met Emperor Tiberius, who was curious about Christ's death and teachings. Galileans had a custom of giving painted eggs during celebrations. Mary gave the emperor a red egg and said, "Christ is risen." She explained that just as a chick must break from its shell to be born, so too did Christ die in the flesh to rise again. Her greatest sin was wealth. In the 13th century, Jacobus de Voragine wrote in the Golden Legend that Mary Magdalene was a noblewoman of great beauty, whose greatest sin was her wealth. He claimed she preached in Marseille and converted the ruling family, then retreated into the desert where she lived in solitude for 30 years until her death. Did Jesus have a wife and children? Filmmaker and musician Mark Christopher Lee has challenged the Vatican and the next pope, demanding the release of explosive documents that he claims could rewrite the history of Christianity. Lee alleges that secret documents hidden in the Vatican archives prove Jesus survived the crucifixion, married Mary Magdalene, and raised a family with her in southern France. Having previously drawn attention for urging the Vatican to disclose its knowledge of UFOs, Lee now insists these hidden truths connect to the mysterious death of banker Roberto Calvi, found hanging under Blackfriars Bridge in London in 1982. While Calvi's death is typically linked to financial scandals and mafia ties, Lee suggests a darker conspiracy. It was rumored that Calvi was about to reveal explosive information about the true history of Christ. Lee says, according to him, the banker had access to documents buried deep in the Vatican that would confirm Jesus did not die on the cross, but escaped and lived with Mary Magdalene and their children. Lee's latest film, The Last Grail Hunter, is stirring controversy with its provocative themes. Actor John Altman plays a character inspired by Calvi, who dives into ancient conspiracies involving the Freemasons, the Priory of Saone, and the true nature of the Holy Grail, depicted not as a cup, but as a symbol of a sacred bloodline descending from Jesus and Mary Magdalene.